Welcome to Philosophy Decoded, where we explore timeless wisdom for modern life. Let's decode today's philosophy. You wake up as the most powerful person on earth. Absolute authority over 60 million people. Unlimited wealth. The ability to execute anyone with a word. Statues of you in every city. Your face on every coin. Generals and senators compete for your approval. You can have anything you want, do anything you want, and no one can stop you. Now imagine choosing to live by a strict moral code anyway. Imagine writing in your private journal that power is worthless, that fame means nothing, that death will make emperors and beggars equal. Imagine reminding yourself daily that you are just a man, nothing special, soon to be forgotten. This is not hypothetical. This was Marcus Aurelius. Today we meet the philosopher king who had everything and understood it was nothing. We will explore why the most powerful man in Rome spent his evenings writing to himself about humility, mortality, and virtue. And we will see why his private thoughts, never meant for publication, became one of the most influential books in human history. Marcus Aurelius was born in Rome in 121 of the Common Era into a wealthy aristocratic family. His father died when Marcus was young, but he caught the attention of Emperor Hadrian, who saw something special in the boy. Hadrian arranged for Marcus to be adopted by his successor, Antoninus Pius, ensuring Marcus would eventually become emperor. From childhood, Marcus was groomed for absolute power. Most people in that position would become corrupt. Power tends to corrupt, as the saying goes. But Marcus had something unusual working in his favor. He discovered Stoic philosophy as a young man and took it seriously. Not as intellectual decoration or social performance, but as a practical system for living. He studied under the best Stoic teachers in Rome, and their lessons shaped his character before he took the throne. When Antoninus Pius died in 161, Marcus became emperor at age 40. He ruled for 19 years until his death in 180. These were not peaceful years. The Roman Empire faced multiple crises during his reign. Barbarian tribes invaded from the north. A devastating plague swept through the empire, killing millions. Financial pressures mounted. Political conspiracies threatened stability. Marcus spent much of his reign on military campaigns, defending the empire's borders in brutal conditions. It was during these campaigns, in military tents far from Rome's luxury, that Marcus wrote his private journal. He did not give it a title. Later generations called it Meditations, but that is misleading. He was not meditating in the modern sense. He was coaching himself, reminding himself of Stoic principles, talking himself through difficulties, processing his thoughts and emotions. The journal was never meant for anyone else. It was his personal tool for staying grounded while bearing impossible burdens. The core of Marcus's philosophy comes directly from Stoic teaching, but filtered through his unique situation. He had to apply abstract principles to concrete imperial responsibilities. How do you practice detachment when your decisions affect millions? How do you remain humble when everyone treats you like a god? How do you accept mortality when doctors work desperately to keep you alive? Marcus worked through these tensions on the page, and his solutions remain startlingly relevant. One of his central themes is the worthlessness of fame and reputation. This might seem odd coming from a man whose statues filled the empire, whose name appeared on monuments and coins. But Marcus understood that external recognition is empty. He wrote that in a few generations, everyone alive now will be dead, and shortly after that, even the memory of us will be extinguished. The emperor who seemed immortal to his subjects knew he would be forgotten like everyone else. This was not pessimism but perspective. It freed him from caring what people thought. He also focused relentlessly on the present moment. The past is gone and cannot be changed. The future is uncertain and beyond your control. All you have is right now, this present instant, and you can choose how to respond to it. Marcus advised himself to stop arguing with reality. Accept what happens. Do not wish things were different. Take the action available to you in this moment and let go of everything else. This is pure Stoic practice applied under extreme pressure. Marcus frequently reflected on mortality. Not in a morbid way, but as a tool for clarity. He reminded himself that death is natural, inevitable, nothing to fear. Emperors die just like everyone else. Your body will decay. Your accomplishments will be forgotten. Knowing this should change how you live. It should make you focus on what truly matters: virtue, justice, wisdom, self-control. Everything else is temporary distraction. His journal also reveals his struggle to remain patient and compassionate. He dealt with incompetent subordinates, treacherous generals, corrupt officials, and endless bureaucratic frustrations. He frequently reminded himself that people are doing the best they can with their understanding. When someone wrongs you, ask yourself why they did it. Usually they acted from ignorance, not malice. This does not mean accepting harmful behavior, but it means responding with wisdom rather than anger. Marcus practiced this daily because his position made it difficult. Everyone around him was either scared of him or trying to manipulate him. Genuine human connection was rare. Stoic principles helped him treat people justly despite the distortions of power. One of the most striking aspects of the Meditations is how Marcus criticizes himself. He did not write like a man convinced of his own greatness. He wrote like someone aware of his flaws, working hard to improve. He worried about wasting time. He questioned his own motives. He pushed himself to be better. The emperor who could execute anyone with a gesture held himself accountable in ways no one could enforce. This is moral seriousness without external reward or punishment. Marcus did the right thing because it was right, not because anyone was watching. He also thought deeply about his role in a larger whole. Stoicism teaches that we are all parts of a single organism, a cosmic unity. What affects one part affects the whole. Marcus applied this to his duties as emperor. He was not an isolated individual but a servant of Rome and humanity. His decisions mattered because they affected millions of people. This created enormous pressure, but it also gave him purpose. He was not pursuing personal glory. He was fulfilling his natural function as a rational being in a position of responsibility. Modern readers often wonder if Marcus actually lived according to these principles or just wrote nice words. The historical evidence suggests he genuinely tried. He was known for his fairness and accessibility as emperor. He spent years on difficult military campaigns when he could have stayed in Rome enjoying luxury. He chose a co-emperor to share the burden of rule, something unusual in Roman history. He resisted the corruption that came easily to those with absolute power. Was he perfect? No. He made mistakes and struggled with human weaknesses. But he kept trying to improve. That effort matters more than achieving some impossible standard. The irony is that Marcus wrote his journal to help himself, never imagining it would help anyone else. But after his death, the manuscript survived. Copies were made. Centuries later, scholars recognized its value and published it. Now millions of people have read the private thoughts of a Roman emperor who died over 1800 years ago. Marcus worried about being forgotten. His name would mean nothing without his words. But those words preserved something more important than fame. They captured a human being wrestling with timeless questions about how to live well. What can you take from Marcus Aurelius today? The circumstances are different. You are not ruling an empire or facing barbarian invasions. But the core challenges remain the same. How do you handle pressure without losing yourself? How do you remain grounded when life feels overwhelming? How do you treat people well when you are stressed and frustrated? How do you find meaning in daily responsibilities that feel repetitive and thankless? Marcus offers practical answers. Focus on what you control: your thoughts, choices, responses. Let go of what you cannot control: other people, external events, outcomes. Stay present rather than dwelling on past or future. Remember your mortality without morbid obsession. Practice patience and compassion even when it is difficult. Hold yourself accountable without external enforcement. Contribute to something larger than yourself. These principles worked for an emperor facing impossible burdens. They can work for you facing everyday stress. The philosopher king chose wisdom over power. Not because wisdom made him powerful, though it helped him rule effectively. But because wisdom made him free. Power over others is nothing compared to power over yourself. That was Marcus Aurelius's real achievement. Not conquering territories or building monuments, but mastering his own mind while the world demanded everything from him. Next time on Philosophy Decoded, we meet Epictetus, the slave who became a master of philosophy. Born into bondage with nothing to his name, he developed one rule that changed everything about how we understand control and freedom. Do not miss it. And that's the wisdom behind it. If this helped you think deeper, subscribe for weekly explorations of philosophy and meaning. Thanks for watching.